I would like to start with a quote by Frank Herbert, who said that good governance never depends upon laws, but upon the personal qualities those who govern. The machinery of government is always subordinate to the will of those who administer that machinery. The topic for my presentation is barriers to transparency, access to information through DLSs in
Now, sir,
Uttar
you need already maximum you time is in 5-6 minutes you can take for one student है. And if it the writing the presentation also we have in this session.
Yes, sir.
So give them 7 minutes at least. Then in exceptional cases, if the chair and co-chair allowing the extra timing, yes of course. Otherwise, take it 6 minutes like this. Because we are having so much presentation,
Sure, sir.
so many.
So right now, starting with my own presentation. See, the title of my paper is yes, sir.
Okay, please.
The title of my paper is Barriers to Transparency, Access to Information through DLSs in Uttar Pradesh. We are aware that right to information is a right to part of speech and expression under Article 19(1)(a). Right to Information Act provides this medium to enforce this right to information. And since this right is available against seeking information through the public authorities, the DLSs which I have chosen, the District Legal Services Authorities of Uttar Pradesh, are a public authority since they are constituted under the law, that is the Legal Services Authority there. So they are a public authority. So they come under the purview of public information officers. Now what I did through this research is, I find, since I as a PhD scholar I am working on victim compensation scheme in Uttar Pradesh, I had to collect some data from the district legal service authorities in Uttar Pradesh. So I filed RTI before all the 74 DLSs in Uttar Pradesh. The questions that I posed to the DLSs were these. So I was asking to them about the sources of funds that they are receiving, the number of applications they are receiving from the trial courts, the number of applications they are receiving from the victims, the number of applications they have accepted, the number of applications those who are directed to UP SALSA, since UP SALSA is the ultimate authority to provide the funds to the DLSs for providing to the victims. So these were the questions, and why I am highlighting that only I was asking about the number was that later I will tell you that there was some issue and they did not, some of the DLSs did not answer my applications because they thought that I am asking information about the victims. But these are the exact questions that 10 questions that I posed in my RTI applications. The structure of the paper is, firstly I discuss the role of RTI in governance. Then I discuss RTI as a emerging research methodology. Thirdly, I discuss the research methodology that I have used. Then the indicators that I have used to assess the implementation of RTI at the DLSS level in Uttar Pradesh. Then I discuss the findings of my empirical study. And lastly, I suggest measures so that the implementation of RTI at the DLSS level can be improvised. So I have filed the RTI with the UP DLSs. There are 74 DLSs. So individually I filed RTI before all the DLSs. Since the RTI, the DLSs are not part of the online platform of the UP government, I had to file offline RTI. There is a form under the UP RTI rules. I filled the form. I paid the RTI fees, that is 10 rupees. Through the postal orders, and I posted to all the DLSs in the month of May, and I also put the same address to all the DLSs. So identical questions were asked, and identical process was used to seek information from all the 74 DLSs. Now this is the response that I have received from out of all the 74 applications. 11 of the DLSs answered my RTI application. 41 of the DLSs rejected the RTI application. 2 of the DLSs rejected the envelope as it was sent to me, and 20 DLSs were silent. Neither they returned my application and nor they responded to my application. Now to assess how the RTI is working at the DLSS level, several other studies in India have been conducted to assess the RTI implementation, and generally these parameters are used. So out of my findings, the first is that what is the mode of filing RTA at the DLSA level. Offline mode is available to if one wants to file RTA before the DLSS in Uttar Pradesh, since they are not part of the online system. Secondly, the nature and quality of responses. 14%, that is 11 of the DLSS responded, and 10% almost of the DLSS answered completely. Rest of the applications, that is 3 DLSS, answered partly to my RTA applications. Thirdly, a major issue arose why there is a rejection of 41 RTA applications. The PIOs at the DLSA level are not aware of the rules applicable to them. So in Uttar Pradesh, there are 2 sets of rules. One is made by the Allahabad High Court, that is 2006 rules, and another is UP RTA rules, that is made by the UP government. Now, since the RTI, the DLSs are part of the UP government, they are controlled by the UP government, the UP RTI rules would be applicable to them. But what the confusion with the PIOs, that is the secretaries of the DLSs are the PIOs in my case, and they were confused. They thought that the Allahabad High Court rules are applicable to them. So what they did was, they rejected my application saying that I paid less fees. Under the Allahabad High Court rules, 50 rupees as an application fee has to be paid. Since I made the application according to UP government rules, I paid only 10 rupees. So 41 applications were rejected saying that I paid the less fees. So to clarify this confusion, what I did was, I filed an RTA before the Allahabad High Court itself, that asking that which of the rules would be applicable to the UP SALSA and the DLSs in Uttar Pradesh. The RTI got transferred to the Chief Secretary, and from the Chief Secretary's office it got transferred to the UP SALSA itself. So lastly, UP SALSA itself replied that to us the UP government rules and to our DLSs also the UP government rules would apply and the Allahabad High Court rules will not apply. So I was aware, I knew that is the position, but since there was so much confusion that I had to file another RTI to clarify this situation. So this was a major conflict that arose in the study. Now, as I already discussed, there was fees related rejections of my RTA application. 32 of the 74 applications were specifically rejected saying that I have paid less fee. And 4 of the DLSs, when I clarified to them, some of them called me and some of them emailed me. Only 4 of the DLSs thereafter my clarifications replied to my RTA applications. Now, one RTI was rejected saying that I am seeking confidential information. They wrote in their order that I am seeking information relating to victim. As I have already mentioned, I did not ask any information about the victim. It was specifically the number, or we can say the trend of the data that I was mainly seeking. But they rejected my RTI application saying that I am seeking confidentiality. Confidentiality could arrive if I am asking about the name, address and personal details of the victims. That was not my case. The next finding was that 2 of the RTI, that is 2% of the RTIs were rejected, saying that I am seeking voluminous information. Again, the RTI, the DLSs which responded, they tabularized the data and they sent me 2-page information. So it did not require too much of volume or anything. It was mainly just collecting assembling the files that were there with them, and they could have easily answered my question. The 20 DLSs were silent on my RTA application.
So you have to manage your time.
Yes, I'm sure. The next finding was that there are different modes of replying. Some of the DLSs, that is 8 DLSs replied over email and 46 replied through registered post. And the next is time taken. 52 of the 54 applications replied within 30 days. So 94% replied within the time frame. Now there were some other issues, like the reply was not made by the SPIO, that is PIO of the DLSA, rather the reply was made by the CPIO of the district court, who is the RTI authority under the Central Government Act. Next, refusal to accept application and inquiry about the applicant, and there is also added cost of filing an offline application. So these were the major findings of my empirical study. Now what I suggest, so that this process of RTI filing with the DLSs in Uttar Pradesh can be improvised, is Firstly, that the DLSS should be included in the online portal of the UP government. Secondly, there must be harmonization of the rules between the Allahabad High Court rules and the UP government rules. Thirdly, before rejecting the application, there should be a grievance seeking redressal mechanism so that corrections, if there are any needed, that can be made. Fourth, the DLSS should be encouraged to reply through online mediums, electronic means. And recently, Delhi High Court also in an application have stated that online medium, that is electronic mode, should be used for replying to the RTI applications. Now, there is one major suggestion is that the office of the PIO and the secretary of the DLSA should be different, so that they do not confuse that application is made before the court or before a body governed by the UP government. And lastly, there is dire need of training the staff dealing with the RTI at the DLSS level, since they were not aware of the rules applicable to them. And the propounder of the RTI recently in The Week magazine herself has said that RTI has gradually weakened both in letter and spirit. So we do need to make serious changes in how we are implementing the RTI. Thank you very much.